Let's talk about evaluations, tests, and assessments. How many of you use an evaluation, test, or an assessment on the market today? What do you use? Is it a psychological, personality, behavioral, or an aptitude test? Let's talk about the different types of tests that are on the market today. There are psychological and personality tests. They all have good pieces of information. Most of that comes from the work that was done from Myers and Briggs, and it's great information. We love it. It's just very poor at predicting sales success. Here's why. These tests look at people's personalities, they look at their communication style, and they believe that someone who is warm and friendly, who will make friends, and is more into relationships would be good in sales. The inaccurate conclusion is that making friends makes sales. Sales professionals know that that's just not true. Otherwise, all your clients would be your friends, and more importantly, all of your friends would be your clients. And we know that's just not the case. We can highly recommend using these tests, but they are very poor predictors for sales success. Because not only the salespeople that are good with other people typically create strong relationships and have those outgoing, dynamic personalities, guess what else they also have? They typically have a high need for approval. What's a high need for approval? People with this in their sales DNA need to be liked. They won't ask tough questions when it's time to ask tough questions. They won't confront a prospect when it's time to confront the prospect. They follow up on stuff that was dead a long time ago, wasting not only your time, but their time and your company's resources. It's a double whammy because it puts prospects in the pipeline that you expect to close and they expect to close. Then they don't go out and prospect because they think their pipeline quota is covered for the month, quarter, or whatever time frame. This creates a lot of problems. Another type of tool in the workplace is behavioral. We had a prospective client who took 2 of his top performers and identified the behaviors of those top performers. The behaviors were all great things, and many of you have read articles on these are the top 10 traits of high-performing salespeople. We agree with all those traits. The problem is the people you hired that didn't work out had those behaviors, or you wouldn't have hired them in the first place. And those behavioral tendencies you look for as modeled by your top performers are very poor predictors for future success. Aptitude tests. Let's suppose that instead of me being here today, you had one of your favorite sports figures, say Michael Jordan. And let's suppose that MJ was asking you questions, leading the seminar, and teaching you how to play basketball by dunking, dribbling, and flying through the air, etc. He was in front of you all day. Will you have the aptitude to go and play in the NBA? I'm guessing that most of you do not actually have the aptitude to play in the NBA. So just because you know something doesn't mean you can execute it. I mean, I know how to hit my driver, but I only hit it correctly about 3 out of 10 times. So just because you know something doesn't mean you can execute on it or actually do it. These types of assessments, while good information, are very misleading for the execution of hiring salespeople. And we have to draw our conclusions from lack of evidence. So what we are hoping to help you understand is that we need to look at things differently. We have a sales execution assessment. It is customized to you, to your business, to the ideal salesperson in that position, for your business, the market, and for the territory. Certainly, if you'd like to learn more about that later, we would love to share with you. But we just want you to know the differences in the testing tools out there today have a huge impact on what people use and what they look at to make sales hiring decisions. We would tell you that all of these other behavioral tests are misleading.